Thank you for supporting this podcast for the past 6 months. It was always going to come down to this, which is time for some real talk. I've been thinking that I need to do something different about this podcast, because I don't really think or know if my monthly rambling should be here. Maybe they should be incorporated in my videos, or maybe I shouldn't speak at all, as the saying goes. But against my better judgment, I'm still going to say something this month. What I want to talk about is not necessarily my own projects, it's about the industry. More or less, it's all about sales. New things every season, every year. More items if possible, too. And I get it. Designers and brands are part of a big corporation. Big corporations are investment vehicles. Investments need to constantly grow. If they don't constantly grow, the whole world order collapses because people cannot retire. So investments need to grow, which means corporations need to grow, which means corporations need sales and more sales all the time, forever. But you see where this has indirectly led us. It's no longer about people. It's no longer about clothes. It is all about numbers. Meaning, one, clothing is just some commodity, like those plastic containers for takeout. They aren't that nice looking. They do the job with zero aesthetic value to them. You don't even think twice about throwing them out, and you could have 1,000 of them in your kitchen cabinet, and you wouldn't notice or care. So much of clothing now is like the potato sack, just utilitarian, nondescript, no value. The other thing is the focus on marketing, the image, the copy. Brands are going to give you products that look different, different pockets, different fabrics, whatever visual attribute you can think of. They're going to make them sound different. Ooh, this is perfect for your Bushwick kitchen party or the midnight hike on Mount Everest. Whatever. They just want you to buy. They care about the marketing and the sales, not the actual function of the clothes. So when you get it and it's not the greatest thing since sliced bread, do you think they really care? No. As long as you've paid your money, I don't think they care at all. So where we're at is that this has entirely gotten away from being about people or clothing, like so many other industries. It's all about numbers, specifically the dollar amounts. And when that's the case, there'll be a compromise in quality. And that's easy with clothes. There's so much time, effort, labor, research, materials that you need to do it right that if you're just focused on numbers and don't care about cutting corners, you can just cut a whole bunch of that and still make something. But for me, I think clothes can have longevity, and they're so much better when they're designed right, and they're much less wasteful if people actually wear them than if they languish in the closet. My preference is for quality and simplicity. There's no substitute for quality, and there's no peace of mind like that of simplicity. I know not everyone is thinking about that, but when I buy something, I just want to buy it once. I want it to be able to do what it needs to do, function as I expect it to function, and I want to be able to blindly use it without thinking. It has to be that simple for me. And that's what's always made clothes so frustrating. Every time you actually try to put them on, the reality of the design hits you, and you realize it looks awful. And the outfit is actually just trying to put things together that individually cover up the shortcomings of something else in the outfit. It just seemed that if it were designed well, it wouldn't matter what it was mixed with or worn with. It would just look good. And that's what excites me about my pants. Even with the oversized shirts I wear around the house, they still look good. And I think that's the mark of good design. There's a certain magic about them. Unfortunately, it takes a long time to get to that place. especially with clothing. There's an infinite number of variables. I guess secretly, that's part of the appeal. It is all about the details, and that's what I really enjoy. I don't care for fashion or clothes, brands, runways. I don't pay attention to any of that. I just pay attention to the details of what I make and how these fractions of an inch can make a difference, and how I can apply that knowledge to make my clothes even better. But that's just me as an individual. Back to the industry. It's all controlled by the big players, and when they're big, you just care about the big picture, just like any big corporation. You're not focused on the details, you're focused on deadlines, doing something good enough so that you can move on to the next task and the next task after that. You can't be focusing on fractions of an inch. You're focusing on if the sales are going up and the costs are going down. Maybe that's the difference between the corporations with all their layers of management and people focused on financials and numbers and putting pressure on the folks doing the work, and the artisan, the craftsman, the one man band who is trying to do everything. For me, I had the opportunity to identify issues, to make all the corrections, and keep refining things until they are what they should be. I just want to do the right thing, which maybe is what all this is about. And maybe that's why I do this, because there's nowhere else I can have that motto. To do the right thing, to have no compromises, to make something of quality, because it's absolutely missing. Just hearing all this gets me excited again. And maybe that's what it's all about. Far from the glamour, the fashion magazines, the fabrics, the marketing materials. It's about having something that, when you wake up in the morning and put it on and look at yourself in the mirror, you see the best version of yourself, something better than you remember. And you think good thoughts. That's some aspirational material. I guess I better get back to work.